No, you don't understand. It's not like that. You see, it's really quite simple. It's like a melody.
Hey yo, what's up? Okay, so today we're going to be looking over a specific scene from the new Disney movie Cruella. Now, before I start this scene, this is a moth scene. It has some moths, and I saw this. It was the most nonsense I've ever seen in my life. This stuff is insane. The amount of stuff I am going to pick apart in this video is going to be crazy. But first of all, let me just show you this little scene to like help us understand what kind of scene. Okay, so basically here's what she's doing. She has butterfly pupa that she's ordered from South America. So she's sewing them onto the dress. By the way, they're not butterflies, they're moths. We'll get into that nonsense later on. But she's sewing them onto the dress. And you'll see why later on when I go over this. But just know that that's what she's doing. She's just sewing them onto the dress, and then you can see the dress afterwards. Okay, so literally 30 seconds in, and we already have something wrong with this scene. So first of all, how did she get all of those pupa? This takes place in London, by the way. Those pupa came from South America. Where, on God's name, did you get that many pupa that quickly? Who had the money for that? Who paid for this? Who shipped it that quickly? Where did you even learn that you could buy them in that much amount? Like, she thinks of this idea in like a day. Like, what? That's just one thing. Then, there's the problem of her sewing them onto the dress. How does she not kill literally any of them? Where did she sew the pupa onto? Is she using the little stem? Like, you know how some monarch chrysalises, they have a little stem that has like the silk attached to it? Do all of them have that? Is she sewing the needle through that silk? Or like, what if they don't have it? How is she sewing them? She didn't puncture any of them, and they're perfectly on the dress. They fit perfectly. There's just so much things that could happen. And there's also, they take this dress. First of all, these moth people are from South America, where it's like humid and hot. They put it into this London warehouse, where it's probably cold, air-conditioned, and not humid at all. And they go put it in an airtight safe so that nobody steals it. How do the pupa not dry out and die? Okay, next part of the scene, next part. This is insane. Okay, I'm about to go off. First of all, might I ask, why are these moths? You saw, those were butterfly pupa. These were not moth pupa. Moth pupa do not look like that. They're either inside of a cocoon or buried in the ground. They do not make chrysalises. This is so not true. But this is a common mistake people make, where it's like cocoon is also a butterfly, but it's also a moth, but it's also not a moth, because that's a chrysalis. But no, but it's, like, I've never seen anybody who's not really, like, into bugs get that right. Then, we see the moths are eating the clothes that were inside of the dress safe. Moths don't eat clothes! Oh my god! There's one species, and it's not the moth, it's the caterpillar. The moth of that species doesn't even have a mouth. Oh my, stop saying moths eat clothes, they don't! So, the moths eat the clothes, and then you can see there's a pupa there. He just comes out It just flies away! No! No! You realize that moths, when they first hatch from their chrysalises, have to, like, expand their wings, which can take, like, 10 minutes, or even half an hour, and then they have to sit there for hours waiting for them to dry. How did this moth just boosh and fly off into the night like that? It's so not how that works. Another problem I have is, what species is this? So, it has a moth. It's a moth. It has a chrysalis. It might be like a noctuidae, like when it unfurls its wings and you can see it. It kind of looks like a catacala, but like reversed colors. Like instead of the color being on the underwings, it's on like the top. It's interesting. So then it flies off just instantly after coming out. So it's a moth. It has chewing mouth parts because it's eating the clothes. Then it pops out of the cocoon in a second, actually chrysalis rather, and just flies away like nothing. Then after that, it just flies off. And then they make squeaking noises too. Did you hear them? All that noise in the background, it sounded like they were bats. So what species is this? I've never heard of this one. If you know what species it is, you can leave it in the comments. Assuming we don't know what this, it's pretty rare. So that also brings me back to my question. How'd she pay for them? Where'd she get them? Who's selling those pupa? But I digress. So, all of the moths fly out. They eat the clothes. Not true. They're not just going to fly out. And they don't eat clothes. Then, she just lets them fly off into the night. You better hope they don't find a host plant, or you're going to be responsible for millions of dollars in fucking plant damage. Did you think at all? Did you think 3 seconds into the future? Some places in South America, they call that biological terrorism. You can get in jail. Are you insane? So, as we can tell, there are many, many problems with this scene. Here's another one. So, all of the moths hatch at the exact right time. They just, when they open the door, they're all there. How did she know that they were going to hatch that quickly? And how could she even bank on them hatching? What if they didn't hatch at all? What if they died because it was dry? Then your plane would go to Alright? Now, I'm going to make this... I do not expect film people to get anything right about bugs. I expect them to do whatever they can to make the scene work. And that's what they did. But at least try. Do a little bit of research. Like, come on, this is abhorrent. It was awful. There's so many problems. I think what did we count, like 6? I could think of like 3 in the first part. It's just insanity. But so, the moths fly away. The rest of the movie goes. That's the entire scene. I just wanted to tell y'all about this because I need something to talk to about this scene. Because it hurt me when I first saw it. It hurt me deeply. But anyways, that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.